Football on Off the Ball.
Brought to you by William Hill. Download the app and play today. 18 plus gamblingcare.ie.
This is News Talk.
You're very welcome back to Monday night's football show. And Athlone Town are women's FAI Cup champions once again. They beat Bows 3-2 yesterday to cap off a remarkable season. So they secured back-to-back league titles earlier this month, and they've now won a second cup in 3 seasons. Chloe Singleton made her return to the field of play last weekend, and she came on to see the game out yesterday. I'm delighted to say she's with us now. Chloe, big congratulations to you. How are you keeping?
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me on. Yeah, weird feeling after yesterday. Bit tired after all the celebrations, but look, we're still going.
It's usually quite difficult for us to get in touch with people well into the evening on a Monday night after a big celebration and a big win the previous day. What way has the Monday Club gone today?
Yeah, look, we're still out. We're still going. I'm in the lobby here in a hotel, so if there's background noise, don't mind me. I ran away from the girls for 5 minutes. They tried to disturb me there, but I ran away from them for 5 minutes, so hopefully they'll leave me alone.
It's weird because you won the league down in Cork. Obviously, you've won the cup in Dublin. These bus journeys back to Athlone must be already forming pretty happy memories at this stage.
Yeah, to be honest, the bus journeys are nearly one of the best parts. We really bond as a group on the bus, and yeah, to be honest, like, it's an exciting part of winning. But I think we're just so used to being on the road all the time, and when we're on a bus, we're all together. We all have a social life together, and look, it makes part of it. When we got home yesterday evening, it was lovely because we had the fans on the bridge, so we walked across the bridge, got a Garda escort, and to be honest, I think we're just so used to being on the road that we don't really mind that kind of part of it.
Yeah, it must turn into like the Venga bus after winning something like that last night.
Yeah, something like that. Anyways, it's a bit mad, but yesterday our speaker died halfway through the journey.
Disaster.
So we just had to have a sing-song. But look, it is what it is. We enjoy all the journeys that we have. But the what's the word I'm looking for? The response we got yesterday from the club and all the fans, that was amazing. When we got back to Athlone, it was the reception. It was really amazing. It was like 2 years ago again when we came back to Athlone and we walked across the bridge, and look, it's stuff of dreams really, especially when you're from Athlone. It just feels different when you're walking across your hometown bridge and you've all your fans, all your supporters, the whole year supporting you, looking at you coming through. It's just been amazing really.
Do you get better at soaking in these moments the more trophies you win? Because you've obviously had a lot of success over the last number of years. I presume the first couple of trophies you win, these sorts of nights and these sorts of weeks go by so quickly. I wonder, do you get a little bit better almost at celebrating them?
Yeah, look, the kind of piece of advice that I was always given coming into cup finals was soak everything in. They don't come around too often, and I know that's kind of contradictory because it's our 4th year in a row. It's my 3rd year in a row with Athlone. But yeah, they're positions that you're not very occasionally in. So you have to soak it in. But yeah, I suppose we went in to the game on Sunday not being the underdogs. It was probably our first time in a while not being the underdogs. But I think the girls took it in their stride, really. I don't think there was any pressure added. I think the girls really enjoyed the occasion. And yeah, look, we're a successful club now. And I think we're not that we're used to the success, but we enjoy the success now and we know what we can do.
What are you thinking when the early goal goes in yesterday?
The Bows go.
Yeah. It was inevitable, really. It was always going to happen. I mean, the ambush was never not going to happen, Chloe.
Oh, I knew that was going to happen. That's why I ran away. But look, it still found me. Going back to your question. Yeah, do you know what? It was a bit of a strange one. Obviously, like, I've been on the bench all year, and it's been a strange feeling, kind of being a bystander and watching from afar. But I wasn't really too overly concerned. I think the first probably 20 minutes, we watched the game back today. The first probably 20 minutes, like, we were under pressure, and we get that, and we know we kind of probably started not as strong as how we wanted to. But look, I personally, like, I don't know. I just think I have a lot of belief in the girls, and I just believe that I knew we were going to come back. And when that early goal went in, I knew from the minute Kaylee passed it to Hannah, I just was like, it's a slippery pass, and I just had a feeling they'd score from it. But that's no disrespect on our girls. Like, it was slippy out there, new balls. Like, weren't used to the conditions. But when the first goal went in, I knew it was going to be a good game. I wasn't really overly concerned on the result. I just knew we're in for a good game here. And even prior to the game even kicking off, I didn't want the girls to become complacent and think, because like I said, we weren't really the underdogs going in. I didn't want them going in overly confident. And to be honest, it probably worked in our favour that Bowes got the early goal, because it kind of gave us the kick that we needed. And I think the girls, after a couple of minutes, like it was 5-6 minutes that goal went in, maybe a bit later, sooner. But and I think, for the first 20 minutes we were under the cosh there. But look, the result says it all. Like, it was a great game, and I think it was a great display for the FAI Cup final. Like last year, obviously Shells came out and defeated us with a great defeat, but I think the kind of game that was played yesterday is a great overall display of the league in general, and how close it's getting, and how Bowes have come on this year. Like, I was speaking to the girls after the game, and they've had a really good second half of the year, and I think they deserve to be in that final yesterday. And I think it was an interesting final to have two different teams in the final. Like, obviously the last few years has been Shells and Athlone. I think it was kind of interesting to have Athlone and Bowes. So I think it was a good display. But going back to your question, I wasn't overly concerned when the early goal went in. It wasn't like, I was a bit like, Jesus, now we have to kind of come back from this. But I always have my trust in the girls, and I knew they'd come back from it. Yeah,
and then I guess the at the other end of the occasion yesterday is the fact that when a team kind of brings it back to 3-2 and there's still 15 minutes left on the clock, it goes into like this sense of squeaky bum time almost, and then you're on the pitch for the last 10 minutes of the game. So is that almost is that a more nerve-wracking situation for you to be in, or are you like, geez, thank God I'm actually on the pitch now and I can control the outcome of this?
To be honest, it's mixed feelings. Like, when I was told I'd be going on, I think situations change just with what happened during the warm-ups and everything. I was probably being put on a bit sooner than what I had imagined. And it was about, was I ready or was I not ready? And being on the pitch in that moment, I was a bag of nerves. I won't lie. Like, I was like, my whole body just felt heavy. And in my head, and I think all the girls' heads, we did not want that game to go to extra time. Like, we just wanted to secure the 3-2 win, happy enough with that. But coming onto the pitch, I was delighted, obviously, to come on and try and control things. But it was more so not even my mentality, it was more my physicality. Was I able for it? And look, I think I did what I could have done on the pitch. And I think the girls, like, when I came on, the energy and trying to match that energy when you come on as a substitute is always very difficult. But I think the girls' energy really helped me. And I think, overall, we were just delighted that, look, it was a very tough the last 15 minutes, and Bowes were pressing and as they should. And there was a lot of space in the midfield, and I kind of just wanted to go on and try and get the ball into the box. But the girls were like, no, we need to get it into the corner, kill time. And look, you have to manage a game like that. And I'm just delighted that I actually got on and that we managed the game in the end.
I was speaking to Kelly Brady the day after he won the league, and she was so close to scoring a hat-trick that night. It was 2 goals and an own goal, as it turned out. Well, she got her hat-trick yesterday. People will have seen that she's been training with the Republic of Ireland squad. A real call-up to the actual senior squad seems inevitable at this point?
Yeah, look, Kelly's been, we were talking about her today. She's obviously away training with the girls now. She left earlier today, and she's just been a breath of fresh air on our team really this year. It's been not even on the pitch, off the pitch. She's just a person that you enjoy being around, and she's just been a squad member that we really needed over the last few years. She's just been a breath of fresh air. She's brought in a lot of excitement on and off the pitch. She's, like Carla Ward said, she's very diverse. Like, her athleticism is what we kind of needed, and she brings that to our squad. But I do think she deserves her call up, and I do think that Ireland squad does need that athleticism that she brings, and I think she's well deserved of it. I just don't know why she would be overlooked because of the season she's had. And look, we've had a lot of ups and downs over the years, and I think Kelly came and just shone through and showed what she's made of. And to be scoring goals like that and a hat-trick in an FAI Cup final, I mean, that's unheard of, really. I know Leanne Kiernan did something similar a couple of years ago, and look where that's got her. She's made her name now since that cup final. So I think this could be Kelly's start to something really special, and I think she really deserves it. Not even just as a player, but as a person. I think she just deserves every success that comes to Kelly. I think she deserves, and I don't think she should be overlooked in the Ireland squad.
Maybe it's too soon for you to have actually taken time to yourself, Chloe. It seems that you've celebrated this very much as a team over the last 24 hours, but your own individual story is remarkable. People might be familiar with it, but over 400 days without being able to play football after a horrific injury during the summer of 2024. It's such a bad injury to the point where you're off work for 3 months. There's a slight scare at the very start that maybe your career might be over at the age of 23. Being able to get on the pitch in the FAI Cup final, and I know there was a couple of minutes played the previous week, that must just be a massive sense of self-fulfillment, even if it hasn't fully sunk in just yet.
Yeah, look, I don't think I've had time to fully reflect, and I think it will take probably a while. Even after last week, the last league game, I don't think it fully sank in, and it was probably a bit anticlimactic. Like, it was an amazing feeling at that time, but yeah, look, my aim, like when I first got my surgery and first got my diagnosis, yeah, it was a scary time because there was a chance that I'd never play again. And I kept that very close to myself because I just didn't want to let anybody know. I didn't want it to be out there. I didn't want anybody to be speaking about it. I just wanted to deal with that on my own. And when we overcame that battle and we said, no, like that's not at risk anymore, I suppose the next step was getting myself back on the pitch. And I was probably told, I was told around 6 to 9 months, and I'm 14 months post-op now, which is a very long time, but I've just had a lot of setbacks that we probably didn't anticipate. But to be able to step foot on the pitch this year alone has just been amazing. And it's been a tough year, but I think it would have been a lot tougher if we weren't so successful. Although we've been so successful, it's been tough to watch the girls. But when I look back and when I look at everything, it would have been a lot harder if the girls weren't so successful. And I'm just glad that we have European stages next year to look forward to. And I hope I can be fit and ready for them stages next year. And that's my aim now. Like, my initial aim was to be ready for the original Champions League round of games this year. And look, my body just wasn't ready. And unfortunately, these things happen in football. And I'm just glad to have had the opportunity to kind of maybe step away from football in a perspective of, I didn't step away from the club, I didn't step away from the girls, but in terms of training and all of that kind of stuff and overlooking everything, I'm kind of glad at such a young age that I've had the opportunity, because yeah, it was taken away from me without me having that choice. But when I look at a wider range of things, I've learned a lot about myself this year, and I've learned a lot about everybody else in the squad and what this club means to people. And it's been refreshing, to be honest, to say the least. Like, I know it's been a tough year, but I wouldn't change it for anything. I hate that this has happened to me, and it's going to change things going forward in terms of my footballing, in terms of my career. It might shorten my career, I don't know. It'll obviously affect how I play, how I train. But in terms of the overall aspect, I don't regret that it's happened, because I've learned a lot about myself. And to be honest, I'm really glad that I've got the opportunity to learn these things about myself, about the group, and about the club and what it means to everybody.
That's an amazing perspective to have on it at this point. At what stage did your mind go from the fear and the undoubted frustration to a point of being very philosophical about this and looking at the positives that might actually come as a result of this experience?
To be honest, I don't think there's a pinpoint moment where I could say, look, everything's flipped. It's been a process and it's been a journey. And it's been a very difficult one at that. But I've had a lot of people around me that really supported me. I suppose early on, I'm a kind of a person that I just don't want to have regrets in life. I don't want to be regretting anything. And yeah, it was a freak accident, and you couldn't blame anyone for anything that happened to me. It was just one of those moments that happen. And I suppose it was just kind of a journey where I was like, look, I'm not going to sit here and dwell on this. I'm not going to hate myself, hate everyone that this has happened. I'm just going to get on with it. And I think I even have a lot of empathy towards people who go through these long-term injuries, because it's a different world and it's a different mindset that you have to adapt to. Because there's a lot of, like, I've been playing football a long time, and there's a lot of people that have gone through ACLs, different kinds of injuries, and you kind of hear of it and you're like, Jesus, that's terrible. But you don't actually deeply think about it and what they're going through and what people go through when they're in a long-term injury. It's very tough, especially with the way I suppose our league is going. It's going towards we're semi-professional at the moment. A lot of us are on contracts, professional contracts. But the way the league is going, a lot of us girls give a lot of our time up for this, and for that to be stripped away without us having the choice, it's a very difficult thing to adapt to. But going back to your question, I suppose there was no pinpoint moment, but I just knew myself, if I have regret going through this, and if I have a lot of angry thoughts towards this, I'm not going to get through the injury. So I've tried to have more positive outlook. I know my family and my friends might say different because they've probably been very hard to deal with over times, but I think coming out the backside of it, and I don't think I'm fully back yet. I think I still have a lot of work to do, and I'm grateful we've got the 3 months of off season. But I'm very grateful that I've had this opportunity to just reflect on things and probably take things more in my stride. And look, I've great time that have helped me this year, and I'm just so glad that I've overseen everything. And football is a very special place in this time, and especially when someone goes through something like this, you can see who really, really cares about you.
It's amazing. It's amazing. It's something we should have a longer sit-down chat about in the future, Chloe. I don't want to keep you too long from your celebrations. Just one last thing. You mentioned earlier on you were watching the game back earlier on. I presume that's a big screen in the pub. Everybody's celebrating and it's just beautiful viewing, or is this actual analytic stuff that's happening today after a cup final?
No, we did it 2 years ago. The first year we beat Shells, and it's probably a bit of a tradition we do where we go back to one of the girls' house that live in town. We all sit around. We'll all watch the game. We'll all just have a laugh, to be honest. Like, it's nothing too serious. We won't be pinpointing anything. I think we just more slag ourselves more than anything. We just want to see our own mistakes and see what we've done. But look, it's something we really enjoy, and it's a tradition we want to keep on. And hopefully we get to another cup final next year and we can keep that tradition going. But it's been an exciting 2 days, and long may the celebrations last, because look, we're history makers at the end of the day. And I don't think the girls realise what they've done. I've been a bystander this year, but I don't think the girls really realise like what history they've made for this club, for themselves, what names they've stamped on this town. Like, I'm from Athlone, and it gives me goosebumps to think about it. And even for myself, it hasn't fully sank in. But I think when the week elapses, when the week is ended, I think we'll all reflect. And when everyone goes home, it'll be a madness of just reflecting and texting each other and filling each other in. Because obviously a lot of our girls are non-national girls, and they'll all be going home this week. But it's been a week of pure enjoyment, and even leading up to the game, I think the girls all really enjoyed it, and I'm just happy that we brought this cup home to the people that love us and to the people that really, really deserve it.
Brilliant. Chloe Singleton, what a story it's been. Congratulations on getting on the pitch for the last couple of weeks, and of course doing the double this season. It's been an unbelievable year once again for Athlone Town, and thank you so much for making the time for us in the middle of all the celebrations. Go enjoy the rest of your Monday.
Thanks a million, guys.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Football on Off the Ball.
Brought to you by William Hill. Download the app and play today. 18 plus gamblingcare.ie.
This is News Talk.